Number 7, different divisions within Islam. Number 8, the praise of the Islam in the modern world. Number 9, Muslim calendar and the Islamic holidays. Number 10, the challenges and the issues faced by Muslims in today's society. Pre-Islamic Arabia, Section 1, Topic 1. Commerce and commerce. The isolation of pre-Islamic times. The Arabs was a Semitic speaking people of Southwestern Asia. Despite its proximity to Eastern Mediterranean basin, Arabia before Islam was related, very isolated from other world. During the Roman era, this region was inhabited by the Bedouin Arabs. The Bedouins were nomadic Arabs organized on a tribal basis and moved from place to place on the backs of the camels. Camel transport and trade. The city-state first emerged, such as Mecca, in this region of Arabia by 400 before Common Era. Certain Arab city-states had used the camels and ships to create a commercial network of the land and by the sea. In pre-Islamic era, Southern Arabia saw the rise of city-states, Mecca, that were oriented to the Indian Ocean trade. This map shows the Arabian Peninsula before Islam. And people consider the backward, underdeveloped. They were deep in the desert. They were nomads who rode the camels from place to place, other places. This map shows the trade route when Muhammad was born. The people from Arabia work in the Caribbean business. This means they travel throughout Arabia and beyond, trading goods. This map above shows the trade routes in the blue color and red color, which indicate land and water trade routes. Arabian Peninsula was a land of caravan trade routes. They are located across the road for 3 continents: Africa, Asia, Europe. Geography. Peninsula, moors, desert, with a small amount of fertile land. During the Roman era, they were inhabited by nomadic Bedouin Arabs. Arabia in 500s was politically fragmented, separated. Too many clans, tribes, many seas and land trade routes passed through this Arabia. The Arabs, or around 500, lived in the tribes. Primary occupation of Arabs was trade. The trade made the town of Mecca very prosperous. This map shows the physical geography of the Arabian Peninsula. Byzantine Empire, Sasanian Empire, and Arabian Peninsula. Bedouins means a desert dweller. Bedouins lives in the clans. What is the meaning of clans? Family. Clans give support to the members. Bedouins have ideas of courage and loyalty to their family. Bedouins move from place to place, following their herds of sheep, goats, camels. They use the camels to cross the desert in search of pastureland and oasis towns. Mecca was a market town at crossroads of 2 main caravan routes. This map shows the caravan. One hump Arabian camel was first domesticated in Africa about 5,000 years ago. By beginning of 1000 before Common Era, it was this one-hump Arabian camel was introduced in the Middle East. This camel became popular as a beast of the burden, as an instrument of war. By 400 before Common Era, certain Arab city-state had used these camels and ships to create the commercial network of the land and by the sea. Collapse of Southern Arabia and the rise of Mecca. Challenges and competitions. In the 6th century, Arabia was more political fragmented the rise of alternative trade routes weakened the city-state of Saudi Arabia. As this happened, the regional power engaged in a military, commercial, and religious contest, combat, fight for Arabia. The introduction of monotheism, pre-Islamic times, were polytheistic, shamanism, local god, many local god. Bedouin tribe practice polytheism in the form of animism and in the form of idolatry. Destruction of Saudi Arabian state. This destruction of Arabian state paved the way for the rise of the Mecca. Mecca was religious and commercial center before pre-Islamic times. This map shows Arabia and adjacent religions around 500 Common Era. Arabia in 500 years was fragmented. Quraysh tribe. Too many tribes. However, the Quraysh tribe dominated the city of Mecca by 500. The founder of Islam, Muhammad, was the descendant of this Quraysh tribe. Quraysh tribe controlled the Mecca. Islam began among the Arabian desert people during 7th century Common Era. These people had already been exposed to the Byzantine Christianity and Judaism. Perhaps the major religious force from which Islam grew was the native religion of Arab people. Major religion was the polytheism, local god. Polytheist with supreme high God that is referred as the Allah. The local deities, the tribal deities receive most of the daily worship. The images of good gods and sacrifice to them come up. There are numerous spirits, numerous gods. These numerous spirits help the ones such as the angels and harmful ones such as the demons, evils. Angels and evils. Pre-Islamic religion was devoted to the natural environments, the God, the spirit found in the stones, found the God, found in the trees, in the wells, in the animals. The city of Mecca became a holy place because of association with these spirits. A meteor statue, falling star, is referred as a meteor, okay? The meteor fell on the maker, which is known as the black stone or the color stone. This material became a holy object of religious venerations, religious worship, religious respect. This venerated black stone is surrounded by an enclosure. This is called as a cover. Okay? Those pre-Islamic spirits, gods, a lot of local gods, could be placated or ask for their help. Who is Muhammad? Muhammad is a founder of the religion of Islam, born around 517 in the city of Mecca. And Muhammad, regarded by Muslims as a prophet of God, regarded as the last and the greatest lawbearer in a series of prophets, such as Adam, Noah, Abraham, Moses, Jesus, and other prophets. Muslims consider Muhammad the restorer of uncorrupted, original monotheism faiths. Muhammad was also active as a diplomat, merchant, philosopher, orator, legislator, reformer, military general, and according to the Muslim belief, Muhammad was agent of divine actions. Early life of Muhammad, in order to know the Islam, you must know the founder, the life of the founder, okay? Muhammad. Because Islam is a younger religion, there are more details available about its founder, Muhammad. Born in 570, raised by his uncle, born into the clan of Hashim of a tribe of Quraysh that controlled the Kaaba in the Mecca. His father, Abu Ella, died before Muhammad's birth, and his mother died when Muhammad was 6. At the age of 6, Muhammad was raised by uncle Abu Talib, his uncle, was a chief of Quraysh tribe. The Muslim strongly claimed that Muhammad was illiterate due to his orphanages. This making the revelation of the Quran even more miraculous. Muhammad likely traveled in trade caravans, and he encountered numerous Jews and Christians. While there in traveling caravans, he was exposed to many religions, such as the Jews and Christians. Religious Muhammad encountered shared same basic traits: one God, one set of revealed scriptures, and eschatology centered on a final day of judgment, on a day of a final judgment, and assign the people to eternal destiny based on the ethical behavior during his or her life. That is eschatology. Muhammad, infected by eschatology and fear for his polytheistic people, Muhammad became more concerned about the fate of his people according to the eschatology. His people worship a multitude of gods. Muhammad also became concerned with these social justice. Muhammad started to work as a caravan worker and met his first wife, and married a Wales widow, Khadija. His first wife Khadija, was the owner of the caravan. Muhammad served his wife for several years as the owner of the caravan. He married for 25 years until the death of Khadija. Out of 6 children born, but only one child survived infancy. Surviving infancy was Fatima. Daughter, surviving infancy was a daughter named Fatima. Fatima's brother became a second caliph. Khadija provided the Muhammad the wealth that allowed him the freedom to consider the theological questions and to spread his message to the Meccan people and Medina people. During a period of meditation, angel Gabriel appeared at intervals, time to time, and Gabriel brought Muhammad the revelation from God. During meditation in the cave of Hira, in the mountain, Gabriel appeared and gave him a revelation from God. At that time, Muhammad orally reported these revelations to his slave boy, Jade. Rather, this orally reported revelation written down as a Quran. Muhammad decided there is only one God, Allah. He also decided he's the last in a series of prophets of Allah. Jewish and Christian prophets precede him. He decided that all earlier prophetic preaching was incomplete. However, he brought final, complete revelations. This map shows the cave of Hira, where Prophet Muhammad received the verses of Al-Quran. Muhammad began to preach these messages in Mecca. He met hostility because the economy of Mecca was based on the idol worship and based on the Kaaba. He spread his message of reciting Quran, holy message of the God. His wife Khadijah was the first converter into Islam. Second converter in Islam is his cousin Ali or slave boy Zayd. Third converter is his friend Abu Bakr, second caliph, who became a second caliph after the death of Muhammad. Young and poor people flocked to join these new religions. Rather, revelations written down as the Quran. Opposition grew from various established clan leadership. Muhammad received protections from his uncle Abu Talib and other members of his clan, including those who did not convert to Islam. In 615, Muhammad urged some followers to leave the Mecca for the Christian kingdom of Abyssinia. What is Abyssinia? modern day Ethiopia. Ethiopia, the Abyssinia was the ancient name of Ethiopia. Okay? Muhammad and the remained of the Muslims stayed behind in Mecca to preach, but faced persecutions. In 650, uncle Abu Talib and his first wife Khadijah died. Muhammad married second wife, the first of the number of future wives. Death of Muhammad, uncle, left the Muhammad without the protections of his clan and making Muhammad's life extreme difficult. Muhammad tried to flee Mecca, leave Mecca, but unable to find secure locations. The formation of the early Islam, the invitation of from Yasrib. Yasrib is an ancient name of Medina. In 620, 6 men from Medina, Yasrib, came to Mecca to confer with Muhammad. Medina, torn by clan war and internal strife. Some Jews in Medina wondered if Muhammad was Messiah. But due to his honesty, sense of justice, and impartiality to settle the dispute, Muhammad was invited to be the judge and ultimately the ruler of Medina. Hijrah. This map shows the Hijrah. Muhammad arriving in Medina. The distance from Mecca and Medina is about 200 miles. The merchant of Mecca did not take to Muhammad's message, and Muhammad left the Mecca city. Much of the Mecca economy is built on the people visiting the Kaaba and is either as part of a pilgrimage. If Muhammad's new religion starts taking root, then people will start and visit the coming, and their Mecca's economy will fall apart, decrease. Therefore, Meccan people persecuted against Muhammad. Muhammad went to the city of Medina because he had been asked by the readers of 6 readers of Medina to share his message with them. This journey to Medina is called the Hijrah. Muhammad is now convinced that he was preaching the true message of Abraham and Jesus. that had been deserted by Jews and Christians. Muhammad in Medina, Muslim became established clan, but religions not widely accepted. Too many tribal clans established in Medina, but religion not widely accepted. 3 tribes, Jewish, 1 Christian community. Especially Muhammad met resistance from Jews, developed hostility toward Jews. Medina Charter. What is the Medina Charter? Medina Charter provided that Muhammad received the political authority over the city of Medina, and he guaranteed religious freedom for non-Muslims. That is the Medina Charter. First encounter with Jews, monotheists, and Christians, and eventually divide occurred between Muhammad and Jews, changed the stance of prayer away from Jerusalem. Jerusalem was the third holiest city in Islam. Muhammad married Aisha, the daughter of a friend of Abu Bakr, in 623. After the death of Muhammad, Abu Bakr became the first caliph. Full-scale military conflict broke out between the Muslim and regional Jewish tribes. The Jews ridiculed the Muhammad and persecuted Muhammad. Muhammad gave these Jews in Medina ultimatum. What type of ultimatum? That ultimatum is whether convert to Islam or exile. Last ultimatum. The Jewish matron Jaina. What is the matron? Matron is the chief nurses. These Jewish matron fed the poisoned lamb, to the Muhammad and his friends. However, only Muhammad survived. His friends all died. But Muhammad suffered lifelong effect until his death from this attempt of Jewish poisons. In 623, 10,000 Meccans attacked Medina, failed to take the city. Muslims increased support in Medina. The truce with Mecca. What is the meaning of a truce? Stop the war temporarily as truce. This truce of Mecca allowed the Muslim to visit on pilgrimage. According to this truce, number of Muslims grew so large, the people of Mecca were willing to resist any longer. In 630, Muhammad conquered the Mecca with a force of 10,000 men, 10,000 soldiers. Muhammad destroyed idols and images of the Mecca. However, Muhammad does not destroy the black martyr stone, black stone. And Muhammad earned respect as a religious leader and political leader of Arabs. Muslim community grew in numbers, including the conversion of Bedouin tribes of the Arabian desert. Muhammad continued to marry more wives in order to build the political ties. The last year of Muhammad, after the final pilgrimage to Mecca in 632, Muhammad delivered farewell addresses in the city of Medina. Muhammad died without making any arrangement for his success. Therefore, this make the confusion in the Islam community in the future. Abu Bakr, Muhammad's friends, and the father of wives, Asiya, anointed by the Islam community as a representative of the Muhammad. Representative translated into the Arab language as the Caliph. Caliph means a representative. This map shows the journey, Muhammad's journey to the Mecca. The battle of the Badr. This map shows the battle of Badr. After the winning this battle, the Muhammad can conquer the Mecca. 300 Muslims confront the 1,000 Meccans. Muhammad take a defensive position and relies on the ranged weapons such as slings and arrows. Muslims also had religious favor on their side, while the Meccans were not too enthusiastic about the war. About 70 Meccans are killed and another 70 are taken prisoners. Only 14 Medina, the soldiers, Muslims, fall. The bottom slide map shows the city of Badr, and left picture shows the battle of the Badr. Badr is located between the Medina and Mecca. War continues and Muhammad conquers Mecca in 630. Muhammad spares these populaces that have opposed him, and most populace of Mecca converted into the Islam. Muhammad, proceeds to destroy all the idols in Kaaba. Hence, Islam take root in the Mecca. This map slide shows triumph of Islam in the Mecca. While in Medina, Muhammad attracted many more followers and drew more converts to Islam. In 630, Muhammad and 10,000 followers returned to Mecca in triumph and forced the Meccan leaders to surrender. Muhammad destroyed the idols in the Kaaba, and Meccans accepted Islamic beliefs. Muhammad unified Arabian Peninsula. After the unifying the Arabian Peninsula, Islam spread rapidly throughout nearby lands. This slide shows the summary of rise of Islam. Muhammad, born in Mecca to merchant family in 570, orphanaged at the age of 6, raised by grandfather and uncle. He became a caravan and he married a various merchant widow named Khadija. Khadija was 15 years senior to the Muhammad. Revelations from angels. At the age of 40, in 610, he meditated in a cave of Hira. Angel Gabriel appeared time to time and told to Abraham the message of the God. Muhammad was told by God that there is only one God, Allah. This Allah was the same God that Jews and Christians worship. It was his duty to proclaim this word. This message from God was later recorded into the Quran. This slide shows Arabian Peninsula trade route. One route, yellow, arrow represent one route, red represented sea route, dotted, blue arrow represent Hijrah. Blue area represents the Sasanian Persian Sasanian Empire. Dark yellow area represents the Byzantine Empire. Once again, Angel Gabriel told Muhammad to recite what he heard. There's only one God, Allah. Muhammad is a messenger. His wife encouraged him to accept the call of the God. She was the first converted to the Islam faith. These final revelations became the religion of Islam. He believed that as the last and greatest God's prophet, it was his mission to introduce the new faith to the people of Arabia. Muhammad began to preach and spread Islam. People of the book is the Quran. Okay? After the revelations. Okay. I already told you. Okay, in detail. Hajira. What is the meaning of a hajra? Hajra means bright. Hajra is the year one in the Islamic calendar. Year one in Islamic calendar begins with this hajra. Ummah. What is the meaning of Ummah? Ummah is a Islamic community. Muhammad built the first Ummah or Islamic community in the Medina. Ummah must follow the 5 pillars of Muslim worship. I will tell you these 5 pillars of Muslim worship in the subsequent slide. Conversion of Mecca. Conversion of Mecca was the principal goal of Muslim converts in the 620s. Muhammad's constructions of Ummah and Medina gave him a base from which to carry out the conversion of the Mecca. Once Mecca was converted into the Islam, Muhammad was able to extend his influences over the entire Arab tribes. This slide shows Muhammad's early life. Hijrah, Mecca, and Medina. Okay, Quran. Quran is a holy scriptures of Islam. Quran means the reading or recitations. Muslim believes that Quran is a recitation of the eternal scriptures. These eternal scriptures was written in the heaven and revealed by the God to the Muhammad. Muhammad, unlike the Jews and Christians, believe there is no human associate involved in Quran at all. Quran is a pure word God delivered by angels Gabriel to the Muhammad. Muhammad illiterated. Therefore, he memorized exact Arabian word of God and conveyed them to his slave boy Jade. The third caliph, Uthman, worked with Muhammad's slave Jade in order to develop an authorized version of the Quran. Quran is the God's last word to humanity, but respect the scriptures. Quran respect the scriptures of Jewish scriptures and Christian scriptures. Quran respect the Jewish Bible and Christian Bibles. Recitations of Quran is a ritual for all Muslims. Quran is a very important part of Muslim life. The first thing many Muslims hear was the Quran when they are born. Verses of Quran adorn the words of Muslim homes. Quran was the last word a Muslim hear before his or her death. Quran is essential to the Muslim faith. Read and memorize as primary religious duty. Quran must be read and recited in Arabic people, Arabic. Supreme act of religious devotion to memorize entire Quran. The people who memorize entire the Quran is given the honorary title. That honorary title is called as Hafiz. Hafiz. This slide shows hand-copied page from a 19th century edition of the Quran. The nature of the God. The nature of the God. Quran's messages are authority of all Muslims. How God expects the people to live and the eternal destiny of the humankind. Allah is revealed as only one sovereign God over the entire universe. Islam demands strict monotheism and require all the Muslim people to say there is no God but God, and Muhammad is his messenger. Allah, the God, is omnipresent, omniscient, omnipotent, Creator, Almighty God, all-knowing God. God exists everywhere, present everywhere. Allah has 99 names. Allah is a powerful, sovereign, majestic, but also merciful and compassionate. Allah is characterized by justice and mercy. Evil is repaid with the justice and righteousness with the mercies. The God is surrounded and aided by numerous heavenly figures. Angels deliver the message for Allah. Warrior angels fight with Muslim against infidels. Infidels means the unbelievers. Warrior angel fight with Muslim against unbelievers. The Jinn. The Jinn is the creature between humans and angels. The Jinn is made of power, fire. Some jinns are good. Some jinns are evil. Leaders of evil jinn is called as average. Average or evilish functions like the Satan in Hebrew view, Hebrew book. Okay? Average or evilish or Satan is a more tempter and prosecuting attorney against humankind. Evil, responsible for fall of the Adam. Predestinations and fatalism. Predestination is a push to the extreme. Quran's teaching about Allah's omnipotent, sovereign, could seem fatalistic, deterministic. Quran states that humans are created by God and must obey Him and submit to His will, God's will. However, the Islam stressed the freedom and responsibility. Fatalism and predestinations have been used to describe the Islam. However, Islam believes that fatalism is incorrect because human has an ability to choose the good among the set of divinely created acts. God has endowed, provided humans with the reason through which the people can distinguish and choose between good and evil. Based on each people's decision of humanity, each humanity will be judged at the final day of judgment. Alternative view. While the God choose our fate we have an obligations to exert ourselves in a question for the common good. That is the Islamic predestinations and fatalism. This slide is summarizes. Okay, I recommend you to read Islamic predestinations and fatalism in detail in your home. Okay. Eschatology. The judgment of humanity by Allah at the end of the time is one of the basic beliefs of the Islam. When a person dies, the body returns to the earth, to the ground. However, the soul remains conscious in the grave. Preliminary judgment means that the wicked suffer. The wicked people will suffer, and the good people enjoy the pre-taste of the paradise in the grave. On the resurrection day, the judgment occurs based on each person's record of deed. The faithful and virtuous people will be rewarded. The evil will be punished. Heaven and hell are similar to the Judaic eschatological scheme and Christian eschatological schemes. The eschatologists, virgins, that would be a feeling on distasteful to desert the world, dwellers. Islam are religious institutions, mosque. There is no central temple or a single holy shrine, because Muslim began as a nomadic people who needed to be able to worship the Allah anywhere, in any place, in the desert. Only formal communal requirement is that Muhammad declared Friday to be the day of the prayer in the mosque with the fellow Muslim. Prayer read by an imam. Imam, a religious, the non-clerical figures chosen by the community in order to read the prayers due to his or her reputation of piety and knowledge of the Islam. Sermons in Friday mosque meeting delivered either in Arabic congregations or vernacular of the congregations. Mosque functions as the school or function as libraries. This map shows the great mosque at the Mecca. This slide shows the Hajj. What is the Hajj? The Muslim must make a pilgrimage. Pilgrimage means the journey, okay? Muslim must make a pilgrimage at least one time during his or her life. That is called as a Hajj, to visit the Kaaba in Mecca, okay? This slide shows the details of the Kaaba. Okay, this slide shows the Blackstone of Mecca. Blackstone of Mecca, or Kaaba stone, is a specific divine meteorite that fell at the foot of Adam and Eve. This meteorite star, falling star, or star shooting is presently embedded in the southeastern corner of the Kaaba. The stone is a dark black because the polished, that is polished smooth by hands of millions and millions of pilgrims. That has been broken into the number of fragments. That fragment is cemented into the silver frame in the side of the Kaaba. Okay. There are five pillars. Five pillars is a belief and practice of Islam. First, the pillars is declare the faith. The Muslim declare the faith. There is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is his passenger. Is the first pillar. Second pillar, pray daily. A person, Muslim, must pray to Allah, face in the holy city of the Mecca 5 times every day. Third pillar, give charity to the poor people. Okay, a person must give the aid. That aid is referred as alms. A person must give alms to the poor people. Fourth pillar is the fast. No food, no drink from dawn until dusk during the holy months or of Ramadan. Fifth pillar is a pilgrimage. A person should perform Hajj, a trip to the holy city of Mecca, at least one time in his or her lifetime. That is the 5 pillars for the Islam people. Islam and women. Islam forbids female infanticide. Infanticide means the killing of baby. Polygamy is allowed but limited to 5 wives. But the husband must have ability to support these 4 wives family. Okay. Divorced women are entitled to the dowry paid when marriage was arranged. Woman can divorce husband. Okay. Islamic dietary restrictions. Some food are allowed and some food are forbidden. Allowed food is referred as a halal. Forbidden food is referred as a haram. The slaughter must occur by invoking the Allah's name over the animal and cutting its throat. Pork is forbidden to eat. The dogs are unclean but can be heard. Eating bird, eating beasts of prey, eating donkeys, eating the mule is prohibited. Alcohol, gambling are forbidden. Jihad. Jihad is defined as a struggle in the path of the God. Jihad is not a holy word. Struggle in the path of God has a variety type of struggle, such as a physical struggle, emotional struggle, faith struggle, armed struggle, economic struggle in the path of God, political struggle in the path of the God. The rise of Islam, Muhammad unified Arabia people both politically and through regional Islam. Through the will of God, Allah divide and conquer, fair treatment, and might serve. Why was Islam so attractive to the people? Orthodox Christianity has become so identified with the Greek cultures that it seemed totally foreign and totally unrelated to the life of Arabs. Persian religion, Zoroastrianism, was also too closely related with the Persian culture, and Zoroastrianism was not considered as a real option for the Arabs. Byzantine Empire, Persian Empire were considered as a very, very cruel, very oppressive, to such an extent that during the Byzantine and the Persian wars, the Jews sided with the Persians. Islam's attractiveness. Islam provides the alternative to all Arab class structures. Provide the poor Arab a more equal status with the more prestigious families. Islam eliminate the inner clan fighting by removing the local god and by removing the local spirit and replacing the local god with the worship of Allah alone. The rebirth, the respected, the honorable black stone became the symbolic stone for all Arabs and eventually all Muslims. Because not all Muslims are Arabs. Why did Islam expand? Like other migrations and invasions we have looked at, they began because of population pressures. The Arab had become more numerous and needed more room and needed more resources. The Byzantine Empire and Persian Empire were weak because of their continuous wars with each other, and both Byzantine and Persian were seen as oppressive. When Islam armies and Arab armies came out of Arabia and into Palestine and Mesopotamia they were Arab or regarded as liberators by both Jews and Christians. This map shows the Arabian Peninsula at the time of death of Muhammad, 632. Until this death of Muhammad spread Islam throughout Arabian Peninsula. While doing so, he created a political empire. Muhammad united Bedouin tribes and brought order, justice, and hope of heaven to the people of Arabia. Okay, this slide shows the dome of the La. Muhammad rose into the heaven from this La in Jerusalem. Therefore, Muslims built the mosque on this side, called as a dome of the La. However, this La was holy before Muhammad's ascension into the heaven, because Jews believe that the La is the foundation stone of Judaism. Jews believe Abraham prepared the sacrifice, his son Isaac, from this side, from this La. Okay? This slide shows a dome of the La. Muhammad rose into heaven from this La in Jerusalem. Muhammad, a Muslim, built the mosque on this side. That is called as a Dome of the La. Spread of Islam. Islam became a unifying forces for the Arabian people. Muhammad died of a fever and poison from the Jews in 632. He did not name his successor and told his followers how to choose the leader. That is very confusion that created Shia and Sunni, okay, and Sufi. Muslim armies swept across the Middle East, North Africa, and Spain. They spread the faith as they went on. In the 7th century, Muslim Arabs left to create extensive empire headed by a leader who had both political power and spiritual power. Until his death, Muhammad spread Islam throughout the Arabian Peninsula, and he created a political Islam empire. He united the Bedouin tribes, brought order, justice, hope of heaven to the people of Arabia. There are several reasons for the mass appeal of Islam, because Islam is a universal religion. No national barriers or distinctions among races exist. Okay, all are equal by Allah, all are equal as a Muslim. And Islam was a wide appeal at its most basic level, because religion is very simple and very easily practiced. The world surrounded all Islam was very confused and corrupt, because the Byzantine Christian ruled, the mistreated and abused Jews and Arab Christians. Whereas Muslim conquered was received as a deliverance. With every conquest, in addition to Islam, others were invited to share the benefit of the community, Ummah. Islam spread of Islam in Eastern Mediterranean after the death of Muhammad. Islam spread Damascus. Islam spread, conquered Persia. Islam conquered Jerusalem. Islam conquered Egypt. By end of 7th century, Islam conquered most of the North Africa. The Islam in Europe. Islam conquered Spain in 711, and Islam was a dominant religion for the next 7 centuries in Spain. Charles Martyr started the Muslim feud conquest in Europe at the Battle of Tours in 732. Constantinople, capital of Byzantine Empire, resisted the Muslim attack until 4053. Finally, Constantinople was destroyed. Islam destroyed the Constantinople. Okay? The island of Sicily fell into the Muslim in the 9th century, and for a period, island of Sicily was served as a basis for attack against Italy. Okay, Islam in Asia in 11th century, Muslim extend into the India and China. Today, Pakistan and Bangladesh remain almost completely Muslim. India and China also have large Muslim populations. In the 15th century, most of Indonesia and Malaysia was converted into the Islam. Islam in Africa. Islam would remain in these boundaries until 19th century, when missionary activity were renewed and made rapid strides in the Africa. Current expansion of Islam. Today, Islam expanded rapidly into the Europe and into the North America, and most Muslims are not Arabs today. The world's most populous Muslim country today is Indonesia. The word Islam is the world's second largest Muslim population. World's second largest Muslim population is in India. The caliphate. Islam is not highly structured like Roman Catholic churches. Most religious duties of Islam can be practiced privately, even at home, without a priest. Spiritual rule is presumed to have been left to the Quran, Holy Bible of Islam. Central unifying forces in Islam is a caliph, accompanying the caliph, meaning representative or deputy in religious affairs. Caliph. The death of Muhammad created confusion in Muslim community because Muhammad had left no detail as to who should succeed him. After the heated discussions by senior members of a community of Islam, Abu Bakr was selected as the first caliph. Abu Bakr became the head of the state, chief judges, religious leader, and military commander. The region ruled by caliph is referred to as a caliphate. However, Abu Bakr only ruled the Islam caliphate for 2 years. The rightly guide the caliph. First for caliph was called as a rightly guided caliph or Orthodox caliph because they were selected from a circle of friends and related of Muhammad. Okay? Muhammad did not designate selected next caliph. Therefore, continuous confusion in the Muslim community in the future. Therefore, circle of friends of Muhammad and relative of Muhammad selected first for caliph. That first for caliph is referred as a rightly guided the caliph. However, after these four caliph, the Islam dynasty was established. 3 dynasties established. Umayyad dynasty, Abbasid dynasty, Ottoman dynasty. Okay? First Caliph Abu Bakr surprised the rebellion and tried to unify the nation that Muhammad built. Second Caliph Umar or Omar conquered Damascus in Syria in 635 and Ummah conquered Jerusalem in 637. Ummah, second caliph, introduced the Muslim calendar. He introduced the Muslim calendar. Muslim calendar is known as the Hijri calendar. That started at 639 Hijra. Okay? Third caliph was Ottoman. Ottoman established the basic practice of Islam government. He ruled for 12 years. However, assassinated in 644, fourth caliph was Ali. Ali was a blood related of Muhammad. Okay, after the first four caliph, the rightly guided caliph, the first Muslim dynasty was established. That first Muslim dynasty is the Umayyad dynasty. Umayyad or Umayyad. Umayyad removed the capital from Medina to the Damascus, Syria. Arab armies advanced across North Africa, conquered the Berbers during the 8th century. Around the 710, Umayyad conquered Spain. Collapse of Umayyad Caliphate. Second Muslim dynasty is the Abbasid. Abbasid dynasty is referred as a golden age a revolt in 750 led by Abbas, a descendant of the Muhammad's uncle, led to overthrow of Umayyad and established the Abbasid dynasty as the third caliphate. Abbasid Arabic dynasty ruled over most of the Islamic empire from 752 to 1258. They assumed the caliphate title after ousting the ruling of the Umayyad dynasty. Okay, this map shows the Arab Muslim empire during 632 to 750. Okay, Abbasid Caliphate, the Islamic Golden Ages. Abbasid dynasty rules the power in 750. Okay, under the Abbasid Islamic civilizations is very prosperous. Most notable was the development of Arabic and poetry, golden ages, also commerce, industry, and art and science prosperities. Baghdad was made the new capital of a caliphate. Abbasid removed from the Damascus, Syria, to the Baghdad in Saudi Arabia. Baghdad became one of the greatest culture centers of the world. Harun al-Rashid and al-Mamun were the caliph, were the great patrons of art and sciences. During this era, the mystic division of Islam, Sufism, was emerged. I will tell you the Sufism in subsequent slide. Abbasid dynasty. Abbasid family seized power in 750. They killed entire family of Umayyad except one man. Okay? After the Ali's execution, a new guru Umayyad came to power and chose Umayyad next caliph. He moved the capital to Damascus in 662. Umayyad changed the law of how the caliph was appointed. For example, Umayyad chose his son Yazid to become a king instead of leaving that decisions to respect the eldest of Islam. Okay. The second dynasty, Abbasid dynasty, appeared to the non-Arab Muslim. Non-Arab Muslim is referred as Mawali. Non-Arab Muslim Mawali remained outside the kingship-based society of Arab cultures, were very perceived as the lower classes within the Umayyad Empire. However, Abbasid dynasty treated the Mawali, non-Arab Muslims equally and fairly. Okay, House of Wisdom. Baghdad became a hub of learning and commerce. Under Abbasid rule, Baghdad became a city of museums, hospitals, libraries, and mosques. Baghdad was one of the largest, most cosmopolitan cities in the world, home to the Muslims, home to the Christians, home to the Jews, and home to the pagans from, of course, the Middle East and Central Asia. By the 800s, Baghdad had nearly 500,000 people. That is half as big as Rome during the Roman Empire. And Baghdad was the largest city in the world outside of China. Okay, this map shows the House of Wisdom. Okay, the Golden Age. Abbasid period of glory has become known as the Golden Age of Islamic civilization. And the scholars of Muslim world made important contributions in both sciences, humanity, such as medicine, mathematics, astronomy, chemistry, literature, and more. Most of famous is Muslim scholars from 9th century to the 13th century had their educational roots in the Baghdad. Here, the teachers and students work together to translate Greek manuscripts, preserving them for all time. They studied the work of Aristotle, Plato, Hippocrates, Euclid, and Pythagoras. House of Wisdom was home to the most famous mathematicians of the time. Harun al-Rashid, Abbasid Caliph. Caliph Harun was a great patron of art and learning. Caliph Harun is best known for the unsurpassed splendor of his court and lifestyle. Some of the stories, perhaps the earliest story of the 10,001 Night, was inspired by glittering Baghdad court and King Shahryar. Harun built the palace in Baghdad, far grander and more beautiful than that of any caliph before him. He established a court there, had lived in the great splendor, attended by hundreds of courtiers and slaves. The Sinbad, Aladdin, Magic Lamp, 1001 Night, a famous novel story, was created in the wisdom of house, supported by Caliph Harun, end of the Golden Age. After 850, Abbasid Caliph became weak and many dynasties emerged within Caliphate. Why? Because Mongols invaded. Okay? In eastern part of Caliphate, Seljuk dynasty emerged but didn't claim Caliphate. Caliphate became a shadow caliphate, and the Lord of the Caliph was just in name. 1055, Turkey Seljuk allows the power to control Baghdad and supported by Abbasid the Caliph. Abbasid Caliph controlled the Islam under the protection of the Seljuk. Mongols in 1258, Mongols destroyed Baghdad and Mongols killed Abbasid Caliph. Mongolian invasion was a direct result of the end of the Golden Ages. Mamluk army from Egypt. Bottom below picture shows the Egyptian Mamluk warrior. These soldiers were imported from the Egypt. Okay, Mamluk army, but however, this the Mamluk become a caliph in the future. Okay, now Mamluk is the slave warrior, the slave soldiers. Okay, however, the chief of the slave warrior become a caliph. Okay, Mamluk army from Egypt defeated the Mongols in 1216 in Battle of Ain Jalut in the Galilee in Jerusalem. Okay, Mamluk restored the caliphate, but didn't claim their caliphate. Mamluk chose the caliph from Abbasid and kept the Abbasid Caliph to them in their capital Cairo, okay, under the control, okay, until 1517 Abbasid Caliph were in Cairo, Egypt, under the Mamluks control, okay. The Ottoman took the caliph from Mamluk to their capital and later claim to Ottoman, later claim to the caliphate. Okay, by 1215, foreign invaders Mongols took over the land of Muslim Empire. Then a new empire arose out of leftovers of old sultanates, the kingdom of Anatolia. Okay, 1299, one of these sultans, Osman, began to expand his kingdom. Osman started Ottoman Empire. Ottoman, Osman, same meaning. Okay. After the Mongols, the occupations of a Muslim empire, Islam power in the Middle East started to decline, and then a lot of small dynasties emerged. Among them were Seljuk Turkey and the Ottoman Turkey. Okay, this map shows the Mongol Empire. Okay. Okay, third Muslim dynasty is the Ottoman Caliphate. Turkey people entered Anatolia after Mongols defeated the Seljuk in the middle of the 13th century. In 1299, Ottoman Empire started in Anatolia. Ottoman was one of the largest, longest, lasting empire in the history of the world. Ottoman was an empire supported and inspired by Islam. Ottoman replaced the Byzantine Empire as a major power in the Eastern Mediterranean. In the 1352, Ottoman Sultan, Ottoman king, able to cross over into the Europe by 1400s. The once mighty Byzantine Empire has been in decline for nearly 2 centuries due to the attack of Mongols and the fight against the Persian Empire. They faced a growing threat from Ottomans, a nomadic group that had migrated from Central Ottoman, the Turkish immigrated from original their living Central Asia to the Asia Minor, Anatolia. They moved from Central Asia to the left, area, Anatolia. Okay, Ottoman. Ottoman Osmans, same name. Okay, English name, Turkish name, different. Okay, Ottoman, Turkey people who advanced into Anatolia during 14th century, established empire in Middle East, North Africa, Eastern Europe, that lasted until the world. Ottoman Empire survived after the World War First. Okay, Osman I was the founder of Ottoman Empire. Okay, Ottoman took the title of the Sultan. Okay, Sultan means the king. Okay, Islam word, the king. Okay, military leader has dominated a lot in the Ottoman state, and political gear to the world and expansion. This map shows the Ottoman Empire. Chestnut color represent the Ottoman Empire by 1359. Dark green represent the Ottoman Empire by 1566. Okay. In 1453, Ottoman conquered Constantinople. Modern name is Istanbul, under the Sultan Mohammed at Fatih or Mehmed first. Okay. Ottoman ended the Roman Empire, destroyed the Byzantine Empire. During the 2 months as a siege, Ottoman cannons founded Constantinople city walls, allowing the attackers to break through and capture the city of the Constantinople. Ottoman replaced the Byzantine Empire as a major power in Eastern Mediterranean. Ottoman claimed the caliphate when Sultan Selim I captured the Abbasid Caliph from Memnon in 1517. In 1517, the Ottoman had control of Egypt, extended control to most of North Africa coast. Suleiman expand the territory, the maximum. Okay. This slide shows the Suleiman or Mehmed II. Okay, Mehmed II defeated Serbs at the famous Battle of Kosovo in 1389. The below map shows the Kosovo and the Serbs. Mehmed II, Ottoman Sultan, is called as a conqueror. Mehmed II captured Constantinople and destroyed Byzantine Empire. Turkish, the chosen language of Ottoman court. Okay, this map shows the fall of Constantinople in 1453. Suleiman made the Ottoman Empire the richest and most powerful empire in the Europe and Southwest Asia at the time. He is the greatest Ottoman leader of all the time. Suleiman brought justice and harmony by publishing a code of law. That code of law is referred at, therefore he is referred as a lawgiver. Suleiman was feared and respected by all Europeans. He turned Constantinople into the great center of art, music, writing, and philosophy. Okay. At the time of Suleiman, vast amount of Islamic territories were annexed and invaded, very strong military. He is expert in developing gunpowder as a military tool. He believed that entire world was his possession as a gift of the God. This map shows the golden age of the Ottoman. Golden age under the Suleiman the Magnificent. Okay. This map shows the Ottoman Empire toward the end of the 17th century. Decline of the Ottoman Empire, leadership problem, corruptions. In 1571, decline began after several military defeats. In 1683, failed invasion of Vienna, Austria, a series of weak sultans or rulers. Suleiman was the most powerful leader, but he killed his ablest son, and Suleiman drove another son into exile and chose his third son as the caliph, next caliph. But his third son is very incompetent, and there was corruption in the government officials. The rising power of European nations also led to is the decline of Ottoman Empire. European nations began to industrialize, while Ottoman Empire remains as an agricultural society. Europe industrialized. The Ottoman Empire stays in the agricultural society. This map shows the lost Ottoman land. Decline of the Ottoman Empire, economic problem. trade competition from Americas, cheap products from India, and Far East, developments of other trade routes. Ottoman were cut off, isolated from global trade routes, limiting the cultural diffusions and new ideas, and rising unemployment and near bankruptcies of Ottoman Empire. New world silver flooding into the market of the Ottoman Empire and causing this silver to inflations in the Ottoman Empire. Okay, this economic weakness caused the military weakness of Ottoman Empire. At the World War First, Ottoman allied with the German Hitler. Okay, by 1917, a great British army took Jerusalem and other territories. Was invaded by Allied forces. After losing World War I, the Ottoman Empire lost the control of Arab lands. Ottoman Empire officially ended on November 1st, 1922. By 1924, the Ottoman Empire no longer existed and Republic of Turkey was declared as a republic. Okay, this map shows the Leagues of Nations mandate 1920. Great British control Palestine, French control Lebanon and Syria. British control the Jordan. This map shows the Turkey today. Okay, Turkey, territory of Turkey is diminished. However, currently Turkey was very large. Due to the sacred diplomacy with the great British, with the founder of the Turkey, okay, founder of Turkey, this is the importance of Constantinople. Constantinople was the heart of Byzantine Empire for 1,100 years. In the 1453, Constantinople was conquered by Sultan Mehmed II and became the Ottoman capital. The effect on Christian Europe was very huge. This city remained Istanbul, which means the city of Islam. Istanbul became a political capital and military capital. Istanbul positioned as a junction of Europe, Africa, and Asia. Located on both sides of Bosphorus, a narrow strait separating Europe from Asia. The only major city located on these two continents, Istanbul. Okay, division within Islam. The two broad sects developed after the death of Muhammad. The Sunnis, 83%, believe the caliph should be chosen by Muslim leaders. Shia, 16%, believe the caliph had to be relative of Muhammad, and other division is 1%. Okay, Sunni traditionalist. Sunni is the largest of the three sects, dominated early Islam empire. Sunni believed that any righteous Muslim can become a caliph. This idea was heavily supported by Umayyad clan after the Umayyad deaths, Muhammad deaths. the majority of Muslim was Sunnis. Sunni based their practices on Quran and on traditions concerning the community. Okay, Shia bottom map shows the city of Kabbalah and top picture shows the city of the Kabbalah. Okay, Shia originally read by Muhammad, the father-in-law, and his cousin nephew Ali. Ali was the fourth character. Shia believed that character could only come from the family of Prophet Muhammad. Shia dominated southern Iraq and most of Iran. Ali was killed at the Battle of Karbala in modern-day Iraq. Okay. Sufi, another variation, is a Sufi. Sufi is a mystical branch of Islam, very spiritual group of Muslims. Wali dervish of Turkey are the most famous representative Sufi because of these mystical winnings. Sufi was the ideal form of Islam for India because Sufi fit in well with Hindu mysticism. Okay. Muslim calendar and holidays. Feast of fast breaking. This feast comes after the fast of Ramadan. Ramadan is the 9th month of a Muslim year when the Muslim do not eat between the rising and setting of the sun. During the Ramadan, Muslims celebrate that God, the Allah, first revealed the words of the Quran to the Muhammad. That is Ramadan. Okay. Feast of Sacrifice commemorate Abraham's willingness to sacrifice the son Ismail for God. New Year, Muharram. Muharram is the first month of Islam year. Month of Hijrah. The birthday of Prophet Muhammad was 12th day of third months. Okay, Islam in the modern world, following the Caliphate of Baghdad, Islam settled down to the later peace of existences. Abbasid dynasty built Baghdad, capital of modern-day Iraq, and moved the capital Caliphate from Damascus to the new city of Baghdad in 662, while Europe was moving out of medieval period and moved into the industrial ages. Many Muslim communities were still pre-industrial and stayed in the agricultural stages. Okay? Why? Islam world has a sense of military cultural superiority toward the Christian countries, born out of the past military victories, such as the Crusade victory of Constantinople, the destroy. Okay? Islam's isolation from the rest of the world ended in the early part of the 20th century. By 20th century, the development of transportation allowed outside into the Muslim areas. World War I caused the breakup of the Ottoman Empire. Ottoman Empire fought in World War I on the side of Austria and German Hitler, and suffered the conquest by Western powers. Great Britain, France, and United States broke up the Ottoman Empire. European power took control of most of the Middle East. During the First World War years, Muslim territories formerly part of Ottoman Empire developed into the independent nations. These the Ottoman nations still exist today. The discovery of natural resources such as oil and other items furthered the Muslim contact with the rest of the world. Islam today, Islam has become increasingly important political forces in the world politics. Many emerging nations of so-called third world are Muslim and very important to the world's economy because their control of the vital natural resources such as the oil. Okay, Western European Muslim population increasing due to the immigration and due to the increasing fertility rates and higher than among the non-Muslims. American Muslim population increasing rapidly because of the immigrations and the conversions, and particularly among African Americans. Missionary work in Africa is spreading the basis. Islam is now the second most popular religion in many European countries. Okay, the rise of Islamic fundamentalism in 1960s and 1970s, Muslim nations became enriched by oil profits, and factions within these nations turned to Western society as a model. Islam nations exported oil and enriched within this the imported the money. They introduced the Western university and Western cultures and Western style, and they call for a return to the old ways. This movement can be seen particularly in Iran.